This is the Guwahati University syllabus, ADR paper 3.5, alternate dispute resolution, unit 3E, which is Legal Service Authorities Act 1987. Relevant provisions. Only relevant provisions are important to read. So I mostly prefer reading Barracks at first, so I'm going to read just the Barracks. The Legal Service Authorities Act 1987. Number one, what? Section 1. Section 1 provides the title explain commencement, which is almost same. Section 2 is important, which provides definition. Section 2, subsection 1. In this act, unless the context otherwise requires, 1a. Case includes a suit or any proceeding before a court. Case includes a suit or any proceeding before a court. Then a central authority means National Legal Service Authority constituted under section 3. A court means this is class AAA. Court means a civil, criminal or revenue court, and including any tribunal or any other authority constituted under any law for a time being in force to exercise duty or judicial functions. Now here we see that central authority means the National Legal Service Authority. This act provides for the constitution and composition of various authorities, including National Legal Service Authority. A court means it may be civil, criminal or revenue court. 3 words you have to remember, that is civil, criminal and revenue court, and includes any tribunal. Also tribunals are included in the definition of court or any other authority constituted under any law for a time being in force to exercise judicial or quasi-judicial functions. Then comes B, section 2, subsection 1, clause B. District authority means the district legal service authority constituted under section 9. Then BB, High Court Legal Service Committee means the High Court Legal Service Committee constituted under section 8A. Then High Court Legal Service Committee means the High Court Legal Service Committee constituted under section 8A. So there shall be again a district legal service authority along with National Legal Service Authority, which is central authority, district legal service authority, district authority. Then comes legal service. C, clause C, legal service includes the rendering of any service in the conduct of any case or other legal proceeding before any court or other authority or tribunal, and the giving of advice on any legal matter. So this is what legal service: conduct of any case or other legal proceeding before any court or authority or tribunal. Then comes the Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat means a Lok Adalat organized under chapter 5-6. Chapter 6. So we have to read chapter 6 for the meaning or definition of what called Lok Adalat. Then E, notification means it's not important. F, prescribed, not important. J, scheme means any scheme framed by central authority or state authority or district authority. So here we find there are 3 kinds of authority. Number 1, central authority. Number 2, state authority. And number 3, district authority, for the purpose of giving effect to any of the provisions of this act. So this is what scheme framed by these authorities. These kind of authorities: central, state and district authority, for the purpose of giving effect to any of the provisions of this act. What is the purpose of those schemes? Well, what is the purpose of framing those schemes? The purpose is to give effect to any of the provisions of this act. Then H, state authority means a state legal service authority constituted under section 6. Then I, state government includes the administrator of a union territory appointed by the president under section 239 of the constitution. J, Supreme Court Legal Service Committee means the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee constituted under sections 3-8. Supreme Court Legal Service Committee means the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee constituted under sections 3A. After that, K, Taluk Legal Service Committee means the Taluk Legal Service Committee constituted under sections 11A. So we have to, in order to understand those Taluk Legal Service Committee, Supreme Court Legal Service Committee, we have to read the provisions mentioned here or referred here, just as section 11A or section 3A. Then 2, subsection 2. What we are reading? Section 2, subsection 2. Any reference in this act to any other enactment or any provisions thereof shall, in relations to an area in which such enactment or provisions is not in force, be construed as a reference to the corresponding law, really, or law or the relevant provisions to the corresponding law, if any, in the first in that area. Then subsection 3, which provides for constitution of National Legal Service Authority. This is the important part here. Section 3 is important, so keep this thing in your mind. Section 3, which provides for what? Constitution of national level, means central authority, central national legal service authority. So section 3, subsection 1, the central government shall constitute a body to be called the National Legal Service Authority to exercise the powers and perform the functions conferred or assigned to the central authority under this act. So who shall constitute that body? The central government shall constitute, because of course it is national, means central level, national level. That's why central government shall constitute a body to be called, the body shall be called as National Legal Service Authority to exercise powers and perform functions conferred on it or assigned to the central authority under this act. Subsection 2, sections 3, subsections 2. The central authority shall consist of, central authority means National Legal Service Authority. These words are used in the same sense. Sections 2A, the Chief Justice of India, who shall be the patron in chief. So patron in chief, this word patron in chief, you have to remember this word. A, the Chief Justice of India, okay, who shall consist of the Chief Justice of India. It is not Chief Justice of High Court. Who shall be the patron in chief? B, a serving or retired judge. The judge may be serving judge or he may be a retired judge of the Supreme Court, to be nominated by the President in consultation with Chief Justice of India, and that person, that serving or retired judge, shall be nominated by the President of India, and that is also in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, who shall be the executive chairman. And C, choose number of other members possessing such experience and qualifications as may be prescribed by the central government. The central government shall prescribe such other number of members and also their experiences and qualification to be nominated by that government. Of course, central government shall nominate those persons in consultation, but there is one word important here, that is in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. Just number of other members possessing such experience and qualification as may be prescribed by the central government to be nominated by that government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. So that there we find section 3, Constitution of National Legal Service Authority. Then the central government shall constitute it, okay. After that it shall be consist of CJI, who shall be patron in chief, serving retired judges, who shall be nominated by court of the Supreme Court, to be nominated by the President in consultation with the CJI, who shall be the executive chairman. Then such number of other members possessing such experience and qualifications as may be prescribed by the central government to be nominated by that government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, okay. Then we are going to reach subsection 3. Subsection 3 of sections 3. The central government shall, in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, appoint a person to be the member secretary of central authority. I'm taking a lot of time, but that's fine. Subsection 3. The central government shall, in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, appoint a person to be the member secretary of the central authority, possessing such experience and qualification as may be prescribed by that government to exercise such powers and functions, such duties under the executive chairman of the central authority. Executive chairman, there shall be an executive chairman, of course, of the central authority as may be prescribed by that government or as may be assigned to him by the executive chairman of that authority. Okay, so there shall be another member, him, consultative chief justice of India. He shall be appointed by, of course, central government, and that is also in consultation with CJI, and CJI and appointed persons to be a member secretary of the central authority. The post here is member secretary of the central authority, means National Legal Service Authority, possessing such experience qualification as may be prescribed by that government. Of course, that government means central government. To exercise such powers and functions, such duties, of course, he shall exercise certain powers, functions, and duties under the executive chairman of the central authority as may be prescribed by that government or as may be assigned to him by the executive chairman of that authority. That's it. It is subsection 3, section 3, subsection 3. So after that, I'm going to read subsection 4, section 3, subsection 4, that is terms of office and other conditions relating thereto of members and member secretary of the central authority. Members are member secretary of the central authority shall be chosen as may be prescribed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. So terms of office and other conditions shall be prescribed by whom? The central government, because it is central authority or National Legal Service Authority. And that is one thing, do not miss this, in consultations with the Chief Justice of India. That word is important. Subsection 5, the central authority may appoint such number of officers and other employers. The central authority may appoint such number of officers and other employees as may be prescribed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India for the efficient discharge of its functions under this act. Other members shall also be appointed, officers or employees. Then subsection 6, the officers and other employees of the central authority shall be entitled to such salary and allowances and shall be subject to such other conditions of service, condition of what? It is service, conditions of service as may be prescribed by the central government. Again, central government will prescribe on this in consultation with the CJI, in consultation with the CJI. The words are almost same. Subsection 7, the administrative expenses of the central authority, administrative expenses, okay, of the central authority, including the salaries, allowances, and pensions payable to the members, secretary, member secretary, officers, and other employees of the central authority, shall be defrayed out of the consolidated fund of India. It is the defrayed, it is the consolidated fund of India because it is in central level. That's why. Subsection 8, all orders and decisions of the central authority shall be authenticated by the member secretary or any other officers of the central authority duly authorized by the executive chairman of that authority. All orders and decisions of the central authority shall be authenticated by the member secretary or any other officers of the central authority duly authorized by the executive chairman of that authority. Orders, decisions, what is authentication or authenticated by whom? Member secretary or any other officers of the central authority duly authorized by the executive chairman. Executive chairman is the he's the most important executive chairman of that authority. After this, section 3, subsection 9, no act or proceedings of the central authority shall be invalid merely on the ground of the existence of any vacancy in or any defect in the constitution of central authority. Existence of any vacancy, this shall not be declared invalid on merely word is used here, on the ground of the existence of any vacancy in or any defect in the constitution of central authority. But in other grounds they may be questioned, right? So 3A, 3 capital I, section 3 capital A means it is amendment. Okay, Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. After reading National Legal Service Authority, we are going to read Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. I am reading barracks because it's very important from the point of view of judicial service exams. Okay, you have to read barracks properly. It's very important. And okay, so then section 3 capital A, that is of course it is inserted by Amendment Act. Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. So now we are going to read constitution or establishment, composition of Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. The word committee is used here, not authority. Okay. Section 3, capital A, subsection 1. The central authority shall constitute a committee to be called the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. Now here who shall constitute this? The central authority, means the National Legal Service Authority. Shall constitute a committee. It is a committee. Okay, it is not council or anything. Committee to be called the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee for the purpose of exercising just powers and performing just functions as may be determined by regulation made by the central authority. So central authority shall make regulations for the determination of functions and powers of what? Of Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. Then comes sections 3a subsection 2. The committee shall consist of, so consist of means the members compositions. Clause A sitting judge of the Supreme Court, who shall be the chairman. The chairman shall be whom? Who? The sitting judge. Sitting, okay, not something. The word retired is not used here, at least in this barrett. So a sitting judge of the Supreme Court, who shall be the chairman, and B just member of other members, number of other members possessing such experience and qualifications. Wait. Okay. So the committee shall consist of a sitting judge of the Supreme Court, who shall be the chairman, and B just member of other number of other members possessing such experience and qualifications as may be prescribed by the central government, to be nominated by the Chief Justice of India. These experiences and qualifications shall be prescribed by the central government, and he shall be, that person shall be nominated by the Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice of India nominated by. Then subsection 3. The Chief Justice of India shall appoint a person to be the secretary to the committee. Secretary. Okay, there shall be a committee. The committee shall be named as Supreme Court Legal Service. Supreme Court what? Legal Service Committee, I think. Yeah, Supreme Court Legal Service Committee, and it shall be established by or constituted by the central authority. And that committee, so Chief Justice of India shall appoint a person to be secretary, and that committee shall have a secretary, Mr. Secretary. So the Chief Justice of India shall appoint a person to be the secretary to the committee possessing such experience and qualification. Of course, this person must possess certain experiences and qualification without which he shall not be appointed. So his experiences and qualification as may be prescribed by whom? That is central government. Because it is Supreme Court, that's a central government. Then comes subsection 4. The term of office and other conditions relating thereto of the members and secretary of the committees. Members as well as what? Secretary of the committee shall be chose as may be determined by the regulations made by the central authority. The central authority shall, central authority means National Legal Service Authority, shall make certain regulations for the terms and other conditions of the office. Then subsection 5. The committee may appoint such number of officers and other employees. Officers and other employees. These are the words. You should highlight these words. Means officers and employees. I have no just device to highlight words. I cannot do so. Officers and other employees as may be prescribed by the central government in consultation with Chief Justice of India for efficient discharge of its function. Okay. Consultation with Chief Justice of India is necessary. Of course, central government shall appoint, but consultation with Chief Justice of India is important. Then subsection 3, sections 3, capital A, subsection 3. The officers and other employees of the committee shall be entitled to such salary and allowances and shall be subject to such other conditions of service as may be prescribed by the central government in consultation with CJI. Then comes 4, functions of the central authority. 4 is important. Okay. 4 is important. It provides the functions of the central authority. The central authority shall perform all or any of the following functions, namely, the central authority shall perform all or any of the following functions, namely, what? Clause A. Lay down policies and principles for making legal service available under the provisions of this act. Lay down what the central authority shall do. Central authority, yeah. Lay down policies and principles. PP, policies and principles for making legal service available under the provisions of this act. So lay down means you will frame policies and principles. B, frame the most effective and economical schemes effective. Okay, it shall be effective and also economical schemes for the purpose of making legal service available under the provisions of this act. So the purpose is same in both clauses, right? For making legal service available under the provision of this act. B, for purpose of making legal service available under the provisions of this act is the same, but the wordings are different. The means purpose are different. Policies and principles, these two are keywords. Second is B, clause B, effective and economical schemes, these are keywords, means highlighted words. C, utilize the funds at its disposal and make appropriate allocations of funds to the state authorities and district authorities. So it has how many words? Utilize the funds at its disposal and make its own disposal, means the central authorities disposal, as well as make appropriate allocation, means distribute the allocation of funds, distribution of those funds, monies to the state authorities as well as district authorities. Of course, the state authorities and district authorities are subordinate to central authority. D, take necessary steps by way of social justice litigation with regard to consumer protection, environmental protection, or any other matters of special concern to the weaker sections of the society, and for this purpose give training to social workers in legal skills. So take necessary steps by way of what? Social justice litigation. This is a highlighted word. With regard to consumer protection, number 1, consumer protection. Number 2, environmental protection. These are important concern. Number 3, any other matter of special concern. So number 1, consumer protection. Number 2, environmental protection. Number 3, another matter of special concern. Special word is highlighted word. You have to highlight that word, special concern to the weaker section. Okay, weaker section. That's the objective Legal Service Authorities Act is to just for weaker section legal service. It is related to it Article 39A of the Constitution, that is to provide free legal aid to the weaker section of the society. This is what the object of the society, and for the purpose, for this purpose, for those purpose means for those purpose means social justice litigation or regard to consumer. Those purpose give training to social workers in legal skills. Social workers, there are social workers, they have to give training to those social workers in what field of training? It is legal skills. E, organized legal aid camps, especially in rural areas, slums or labor colonies, means rural areas, slums or labor colonies, with the dual purpose of dual purpose of educating the weaker sections of the society as to their rights, as well as encouraging the settlement of disputes through local authorities. So first objective is, purpose is to educate the weaker section of society as to their rights, and number 2, encouraging the settlement of disputes through local authority. Then F, encourage the settlement of dispute by of negotiation, arbitration, and conciliation. That's why this act is part of ADR system, means alternative dispute resolution. Encourage the settlement of dispute by way of negotiation, arbitration, and conciliation. Then comes our negotiation, arbitration, conciliation. The word mediation is not here. Z, undertake and promote research in the fields of research in the field of legal service with special, what field? Legal service, of course, with special reference to need of just service among the poors. Undertake and promote research in the field of legal service with special reference to the need of just service among poors. Then H, to do all things necessary for the purpose of ensuring commitment to the fundamental duties of citizens under Part 4A of the Constitution. To do all things necessary for the purpose of ensuring commitment to the fundamental duties of ensuring commitment means just encouraging the citizens to follow their fundamental to do their duties, fundamental duties, their basic duties towards their nation, fundamental duties of the citizens under it, which is provided under Constitution, under Part 4A of the Indian Constitution. Then J, monitor and evaluate implementations of legal aid programs. Monitor means monitor, and evaluate implementations of implementations of legal aid programs at periodic intervals means periodic intervals, and provide for independent evaluation programs and schemes implemented in whole or in part by funds provided under Act 2J, provide grants in aid for special schemes to various voluntary social service institutions. Highlight this word, voluntary social service institutions, 2J, to provide grants in aid for special schemes to various voluntary social service institutions and the state and district authorities from out of the amounts placed at its disposal for the implementation of legal service schemes and other provision of this Act. Provide grants and for specific schemes to various voluntary social service institutions and the state and district authorities from out of the amounts placed at the disposal for the implementation of legal service schemes and other provisions of this Act. Then K, develop in consultations with Bar Council of India programs for clinical legal education, promote guidance and supervise the establishment and working of legal service clinics in universities, law colleges and other institutions, legal service clinics in universities, law colleges and other institutions. I, it's too long, the objection. I, so take appropriate measures for spreading legal literacy. Legal literacy means means knowledge regarding law, spreading legal literacy and legal awareness about law, their means their legal rights and also duties among the people, and in particular to educate weaker sections of the society. Of course, weaker sections of the society includes women, that means me, I am the weaker section of the society, and also poors and STs, this kind of people, to educate weaker section of the society about the rights, benefit and privileges guaranteed by social welfare legislations. Okay, guaranteed by social welfare legislations means enactment act stated legislation. This is what rights and benefits and privileges, their rights, their benefits, what benefits they are entitled, and their privileges guaranteed by social welfare legislations and other enactments, as well as administrative programs and measures. Make special efforts to enlist the support of voluntary social welfare institutions. There may be some voluntary social welfare institution, right? So make special effort to enlist the support of voluntary social welfare institution working at the grassroots level. Grassroots level means the below level or something like this, particularly among the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, women, rural and urban labor. So assist as this woman, that means me, I am, and rural and urban labor. Of course, the labor, both rural and urban labor. And coordinate and monitor the functioning of state authorities, district authorities, Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. Coordinate and monitor. Coordinate, okay? Coordinate means support, coordinate. And monitor means just monitor the activities, the functioning of legal state authorities, okay, state level, it is below the central authority. District authorities below the state authorities, means subordinate, not below, subordinate to state authorities. Then Supreme Court Legal Service Committee, High Court Legal Service Committees, of course, not only Supreme Court but High Court Legal Service Committees are also there. Taluk Legal Service Committees and voluntary social service institutions and other legal service organizations, and gives general directions for the proper implementations of the legal service program. General directions for the proper implementations of the legal service program. Okay, after this subsection 5, that is what, no, not subsection, section 5, central authority. Once again, it's subsection or section? Okay, section 4 is mentions in central authority. Then section 5, central authority to work in coordination with other agencies. Central authority in the discharge of its functions under this act, the central authority is there, whatever appropriate, act in coordination with other governmental and non-governmental agencies. What kind of agencies? Governmental and also non-governmental. Highlight these two words, governmental and non-governmental. I don't have any highlighting tools otherwise, and what I'm doing, I don't have any highlighting tool. I cannot highlight, so you have to highlight these two words, governmental and non-governmental agencies Universities and other engaged and others engaged in the work of promoting the cause of legal services to the poors. So then section 5, central authority to work in coordination with other agencies in the details of its functions under this act. The central authority shall, whatever appropriate, act in coordination with the government and non-government agencies, universities, and other engaged in the work of promoting the cause of legal service to the poors. Then comes 6, Constitution of State Legal Service Authority. I'm going to read, I'm going to make videos on it after taking 30 minutes break. Okay, till then wait. And I know my video is not good. I'm not a good teacher, and I'm not a good teacher, right? And I'm speaking in English, not in Hindi, so for the Hindi viewers it will not be good. जो लोग हिंदी व्यूअर्स हैं उन्हें समझने में प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है द वे मैं सिखा रही हूँ, द वे आई एम टीचिंग. दैट्स व्हाई प्लीज कमेंट बिलो in comment sections if you like my teaching technique, or if you dislike, or if you want to give me any advice, feedback or constructive criticism. criticize भी करना है तो कर सकते हो. You're free to do anything you want to do, but just please subscribe my channel. I want first 1000 subscribers. This is my goal, that's why I am working on it. Later मैं मेरे वीडियो और भी ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव करूँगी, बट अभी तो मुझे सब्सक्राइब करो जस्ट, एंड लाइक करना इफ़ यू लाइक इट. इफ़ यू डिसलाइक इट, डिसलाइक बटन मत क्लिक करना. लाइक करना तो लाइक बटन क्लिक करना, बट डिसलाइक करना तो डू नॉट क्लिक दैट डिसलाइक बटन प्लीज़. इफ़ पॉसिबल देन क्लिक दैट सब्सक्राइब बटन. और मेरे पास अच्छा सॉफ्टवेयर और ऐप भी नहीं है वीडियो बनाने के लिए, इसलिए मैं अच्छी वीडियो नहीं बना पा रही हूँ, और टाइम भी नहीं है बिकॉज मेरा सेमेस्टर एग्ज़ाम है. सो इसीलिए मैं अच्छी वीडियो नहीं बना पा रही हूँ. आई थिंक जब ऐप होगा, टाइम होगा, तो मैं और भी अच्छी वीडियो बनाऊँगी. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो.